I want to know, why should advisors send their students to the Circle of Change Leadership Experience? Tara, it's on you. 30 seconds, moving all the way across. Take it away.
Got it. So I made this pitch a lot. It was hard for us to get our advisors to send us back to California for a leadership conference. And honestly, this is, I've been to the SGA conferences, I've been to all that stuff. This was the most impactful leadership conference that I have ever been to. And that's why I continue to come back to speak to y'all. You learn your self-confidence. If you don't know where you want to go in your career, this is where you can get a little sample of everything. And then being a leader, to be able to go to this conference, you have to be a leader or an aspiring leader, a servant leader. And a lot of folks who are in leadership positions need that opportunity to be around others, share ideas, to get that self-confidence. And it's just, it's necessary look at this panel. We see where we are. Give your students the opportunity to get that network that they need.
I love it. I love it. I love it. Destiny.
Yes, I think this conference really teaches us that we have the power, it reminds us that we have the power to reframe our story, to reframe the path ahead of us, to really break the cycles that are behind us. And I think it will instill that motivation for a long time to come, as evident in this panel. It will just really help us reimagine ourselves in a different way. It'll bring that leader out of us, even if we're not that experienced, even if we are introverts. It will show us what is possible. And that was a huge thing that I found for me that allowed me to keep going. But I attended the conference at a time where it was really, really hard for me to continue. And it was just so meant for that to happen, because what the conference did was it like ignited something back in me. It reminded me of my why. It reminded me of what I was trying to do to help others. And I continue to do that, and I continue to help me instill that inside me until this day, even in my career.
I love it. I love it. Awesome. Saeed.
Circle of Change Leadership Conference was one of the best experiences of my life. I still remember going with my cohort at Norco College 2017. One of the best experiences, some of the best networking opportunities, some of the best, it wasn't just me in a room sitting with a bunch of people. There were small breakout rooms where we talked with industry professionals. There were a variety of panels which we had. And oftentimes, these student advisors, you send your students to these conferences. And one thing about these conferences is, because they're so good, they teach great skills. Many of those students who attend these conferences will become the top professionals. They'll be the top mentors for the next generation. They can be the donors for your community college or university. They can serve as mentorship. They can serve as the connections that oftentimes many people in our generation, many times we were the ones who were paving the way. Now the next generation will have those professionals, those alumni to take care of them. And it's an investment that gives returns many, many, many times over. So one of the best experiences of my life. And Dr. Friedenberg, if you let me come again, I might come. I might skip my finals. So
come on this year. You come this year. It's going to be virtual. So you come this year. Come on. We'll bring you on this year. No problem at all. Absolutely. Absolutely. Raina, I love it.
Oh, this is just such a beautiful, beautiful panel to be on. And all of these stories to hear are incredibly inspiring. But why I would say you should send your students now is because it's in the name, Circle of Change. So it literally is a circle of change. You send your students, you're not only exposing them to real world experience, you're setting them up for success through mentorship, you're allowing them to have confidence builders, you're allowing them to network across the aisle with their peers, and it's something that continues to follow them. Like you heard from panelists today, that they're going to be able to take this and implement this as they're working professionals in the real world, so it doesn't stop. I've been to many conferences, and what I will say about this one is I truly felt like I gained not only knowledge and real world experience from professionals who had already been there, but I also felt like I gained a family. So that's the most important thing for me.
That's awesome. 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 DeMaurier.
Oh, man. As a first generation, low income, foster youth, coming from the Inland Empire, going to college changed my life, but going to Circle of Change made my life. And when I say that, you didn't have exposure, you didn't have access, you didn't have resources, you didn't have those things. Circle of Change provided those things where you gain the skills, the exposure, the network, the mentors, if you were just confident enough to get it. And I firmly believe that if student affairs professionals believe in making sure that their students are going to succeed or excel, you must send them to the Circle of Change conference. You're not going to find another conference with this many resources, this much energy, the intentionality of the coaches, the professionals that sit on hour-long calls before Circle of Change discussing curriculum about how they're going to make impacts on students, that put in hours, that are also student affairs professionals themselves or industry leaders and things like that. This is a particular group of folks who really believe in inspiring change, to spark that light in the people, to have that confidence so that they can walk with their head high, they can get those things that's going to push them to excel. So if you believe in excelling and pushing the student experience and really providing your students with access, exposure, and resources to help them excel when they get into this real world, then you must send them to the Circle of Change conference. And I firmly believe if that is your mission, that you will do that and they'll become a part of the Circle of Change family. And they are going to invest in other people's lives too, as you set them out to go do amazing things in this world. So send your students to Circle of Change. It is a life-changing experience.